Hey guys, before I start this video, I would just like to thank everybody for watching my videos and just enjoying them. I really love making them, and I just want to keep on making great content for you guys. So at 100 subscribers, I will do a giveaway as a kind of a small way to give back. And yeah, I'm gonna do a Commander Bly giveaway at 100 subscribers. So stay tuned for that. That video will come out towards the end of May, maybe the beginning of June, but just stay tuned and subscribe if you want to be entered onto the video. So in this video, I will be kind of talking about and giving my thoughts about the last episode of Clone Wars and what I really thought about it. So right away, it wasn't I didn't like it as much as I thought it would right away, but once I kind of went back and thought about it and rewatched it, I think I'm starting to like it more and more. I um I think obviously the biggest scene from the episode is at the end with all the clone helmets and then Vader finding them years later. And I think that's really the most important part of the episode. And that's one thing I don't like about it. Really, the entire beginning part of the episode is kind of pointless. I do think it was necessary to move the story along, but everybody already knows what happens. You already know that Ahsoka and Rex live, so there's not as much at stake. You just already know what's going to happen, so it's not as dramatic as it should have been. And that is one, I think, big problem with this entire arc of the series is it's trying to be dramatic, but since we all already know what happens, it's not as dramatic as it's trying to be, and it kind of takes away from the story altogether. But overall, I did like the episode. One big problem I did have with it, though, is its lack of connection between Clone Wars and Rebels. And one big question I was asking was how Wolf and Gregor got their chips removed as well. And for one, we don't even know anything about Gregor. The last time we saw him was whenever he was fighting on that one planet, and there's a big explosion, and you don't see anything else. And in Rebels, the only bit of armor you see of him is his gauntlet, and you can tell it is very it looks like blast marks on it. So as you can tell, he survived the explosion, but we don't know how or what happened to him. And that would have been a really nice thing to include. I think this could have been a 45-minute episode, and them including that too. And I'd also want to know what happened with Wolf, because the only reason Rex got his chip removed was because Ahsoka was there to help him. But if Ahsoka or Rex isn't there to help Wolf, how would he remove his chip? And I was really wondering that, and I'm a little upset they didn't explain that. And one other problem I had with the episode is how they actually escaped from the falling Venator, and I do wish that they changed the vehicle they used. I'm alright with Y-Wing. I think it was a nice callback to Season 1 whenever they were attacking the Malevolence, and I did like that, but what I didn't like is there was two ships I think they should have used that would have made a whole lot more sense to the entire story overall. One is I think they should have used the ship that Maul escaped on, because in the Clone Wars movie, when you see Ahsoka first, ever, that's what the ship she's coming in on is this ship, and it would have been a nice callback, and it really fulfill her character arc very well if that's what she left on too. And other than that, I think a vehicle that would have made more sense to the overall story would have been an ATTE, because in Rebels, this is like the vehicle they used to fight off the AT-ATs against the Empire with Rex, Wolf, and Gregor. And it would have made a whole lot more sense, and it would explain how they actually got the ATTE. But I guess they could find that a different way. Just really hope they find a way to explain this in canon soon, because they should have explained it in Clone Wars and they didn't. But overall, the highlight of the episode is the scene at the end with the graves of the clone troopers, and I do really love how they did this. It's a nice way of showing how even Ahsoka won't treat the clones like mindless, expendable people, but as real humans. And I'm glad they did this, because this was pretty much the entire um, a big main part of the Clone Wars TV series, and I'm glad they kept with this, because if they just had her start shooting clones instead of stunning them, it would have taken away from the overall story of the entire series. And I'm glad they kept with this, and it makes for a nice scene at the end. And one thing I did notice about like Jesse's helmet and all, it was really sad to see Jesse go, but I do think it was necessary for the overall story. And as this his helmet on the stick does it doesn't just represent the death of Jesse, it also symbolizes the death of the Republic with the Republic insignia on his helmet, and the rise of the Empire. And it was a really nice scene. Not nice scene. It was a memorable scene, I guess, for Jesse. And it really sucks to see him die like that. But and then of course there is the last scene of the entire series with Darth Vader on that planet going back, and this is also a very emotional scene. You see Darth Vader walk up and pick up Ahsoka's lightsaber, and he turns it on, and I am a little confused on the importance of this scene. While it is nice to see like Darth Vader in this mid-movie range, it is a little unnecessary because I don't know if this is trying to symbolize Vader finding out about Ahsoka's death, or if Vader's finding out that she's still alive. I know, like, I think this is him finding out about her death, but she doesn't actually die, and we know that. And then we also know he finds out about her later in Rebels, so this scene is kind of pointless to me. While it is nice to see him hold up the lightsaber, it's just a little pointless. One thing I did like about the scene, though, is you can see through the reflection in Vader's helmet, you can see Anakin's eye. And it isn't yellow like you see in Revenge of the Sith. It is his normal color eye. And then he walks away, and you can see his shadow in the reflection of the helmet. And this represents the final death of Anakin Skywalker and the rise of Darth Vader. And it is also really cool to see because you don't really see a whole lot of Darth Vader in that mid-movie range, and it was really nice to see. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really enjoy making videos for you guys, so if you could, please subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. See you guys later.